Hello everyone, Dark Skeleton here, and today Blizzard just announced the new game mode for Hearthstone. It's going to be called Tavern Brawl, and from what I'm reading about it, it sounds like it's going to be absolutely amazing. I can't wait to play it, and it might even become one of my main game modes aside from Arena. Because honestly, standard constructed ranked mode, that's gotten a bit stale for me because the problem is, and I think Tavern Brawl fixes this problem, is that the meta stays roughly the same. People will play kind of the same decks, and then changes come out and everybody goes and net decks that whatever the pros come up with again. But in Tavern Brawl, you have to change your deck each week because each week there's going to be custom deck building rules. So for instance, one week it might say you have to include at least 6 dwarf minions in your deck for it to be allowed into the Tavern Brawl. And in another week it might say you can only play spells that cost 2 mana or more, or maybe 5 mana or more, or something like that. And so by limiting the cards you can put in your deck for the Tavern Brawl, although you can use any of the cards in your collection in general, because certain cards are going to be taken out of the Brawl meta, you have to basically change your deck and your play style to adapt to what the Tavern Brawl rules are creating. In other words, creating a new meta each and every single week. So every week they have these custom rules, and decks are going to be very different from constructed because of that reason. So I think that's going to be awesome, simply because it kind of limits how much you can net deck, because there'll only be 1 week to go online and steal somebody else's deck, the pros deck or whatever, and they might not even know what's best for the Tavern Brawl each week, because the rules will just change the game up so much. So each week the Tavern Brawl is going to be free, and if you win at least one game, then you get a free classic card pack. That's really sweet. That's going to help a lot of newer players catch up, which is a problem with Hearthstone right now. If you play ranked at all, you can't get anywhere unless you have basically at least BRM, Naxxramas, and a good chunk of legendaries. You might be able to get like rank 15, but legend, don't count on it, because everybody else is playing those same top tier decks that just statistically win more than any basic deck ever could, any deck that just has commons ever could. At best, you can get pretty decent with a zoo deck, but beyond that, So anyway, they haven't announced that there'll be any additional rewards past just the initial card pack you get, but you can do daily quests, and you do get 10 gold for every 3 wins. So it's basically another version of play mode that just allows you to change the meta every single week. I can't say if they are or aren't going to put in rewards for the people who get the most wins in Brawl, but you're able to play an unlimited number of matches, and they're already giving you daily quests and gold for winning 3 times, so I can't imagine that if there is a reward for the best players in Brawl, it'll be very significant, because it's not like Arena. It's not like Arena where you're paying 150 gold to enter. It's free each week. So it might just become more of an alternative to playing casual or ranked for those who get sick of seeing the same decks every single day, every single week. Let's see, beyond that, you can edit your deck for Brawl and change it up as many times as you want. So it's not really, it's not like you're locked into the same deck as if you're playing Arena mode. It's basically, you go in for some Brawl matches with a new deck you just kind of came up with, or net decked if you want to be that guy. And you realize it's not a very good deck. So then you go back into your deck editor, you change it up, and you keep adapting to what other people are coming up with. But it's on a very rapid basis just because of that 1 week limit. 1 week, everything resets, and you have to basically learn the whole game all over again. And that will keep things very fresh, and I think exciting. It might not be a competitive format. It might even be a little bit silly. Like, the rules could be like, you must include 2 Grim Patrons in your deck, and that would just be like a disaster. Well, for one thing, that would be a horrible idea, because Warriors would just win. But in any case, you kind of get the idea. It makes you have to think about what you're actually going to play in your deck, because you can't just go net deck the standard ranked legend decks. And it'll keep things fresh every single week because the meta changes. So, I mean, that's really all there is to it. Basically, custom rule sets, changes every week. I think it's really cool. It might even cause people like me to basically stop playing regular casual or ranked for you know, like 80% of matches, just because you know what's going to happen in those matches. They become very grindy. Like, you can only fight Combo Druid, Grim Patron, Warrior, Flamewaker Mage, Freeze Mage, Face Hunter so many times before you're like, oh, I know exactly what he's going to play on this next turn. Wow, this is so exciting knowing exactly how this match is going to go. Minus like one or two maybe surprises that end up winning or losing you the match. So, I've been Dark Skeleton. You can find all this information about Tavern Brawl out on Hearthstone.com, and I'm sure on the Blizzard website they also have an official kind of front page teaser for all of this. So, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. If you want to make a contribution to the Patreon, patreon.com/darkskeleton. Aside from that, till next time, guys.